What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Moon Rock's Chop Shop. I'm in my boy's shop today and I finally got my set of springs in, so we're finally gonna give the car a nice aesthetic look, make it lowered a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it should be smooth. I'll give you guys a step-by-step and we're gonna make sure this car is sitting pretty, and hopefully y'all see me on the road. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment anything you need to talk shit on. Stay tuned. Let's go.
Yeah, I stay up. Every day that I arise, I'm way up. Paper chasing on the move, my pace up. Cutting that bitch.
All right, y'all. So first things first, you gotta take off the wheels to really start getting this done. So I got my, my wheel locks, factory wheel locks from Acura. All right, y'all, so we got the tire off with a little bit of brute force, but we out here. So I'm gonna actually do the other thing, take the tire off on the next side and just do 2x2. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, so the car's up in the air. My boy Sean and me, we just took off all 4 tires. The first thing we're gonna do is start from the bottom, take off all the linkages from the bottom down, make sure we bring the strut down, or it's not going to come down until we release the top, but we're going to start from the bottom so then it's a little bit easier for us. Now Sean over here is basically taking out the main bolt that goes to the lower control arm that ties to the hub. So that's going to keep all your suspension setup kind of in there. Taking that down is going to let us access it. Alright, y'all, so hopefully it's not hard to tell here, but we basically just took off 1, 2 bolts. You pull this down and the blood clot spring come out in the dog. See what I'm saying? Super easy, super chill.
You gotta put this little loop around the top of the spring and then thread it in, essentially, until it stops.
Boom. Nice.
That's chilling right there.
Hell yeah.
A little too much, but.
Alright, y'all, so we're gonna install the rear. And I just gotta connect the holes here, which are, hold on a second. These have to, I think these, one, is that it? Yeah, there it goes. Boom.
It's in?
Is it?
No, this one's off.
Let me take a look at it.
Yeah.
So one goes here, one goes here.
Solid. It's lined up.
Boom. Now you push that down a little bit.
Okay, it's still lined up. All right, I'm gonna hold it up. You put the bolt in.
You have to play with it a little bit.
Play with her a little bit, guys. Oh shit.
So the holes are lined up.
Hey, shit, it went in the first time.
That's what she said. Go. Go. A little bit up. There it goes. All right.
Thread that shit in.
Thread it in.
Use the gun.
Yeah. Gun. Don't break my camera.
Please don't.
And we bang her home.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Solid. Yo, the rear's almost done, guys. Alright, y'all, so I know I didn't really document kind of like the whole portion of it, but this strut tower became much more of an issue than we really thought. It's a lot harder to take out than it looks like. And it looks like everybody on the internet is having the same problem. So we're still trying to take out the strut. I'm gonna see how far we could get. On the reverse of this, I guess I'll explain, but stay tuned. All right, we got one side out. I'm about to explain how. Give me a second. All right, y'all, so it's been quite an issue trying to take these struts off. Apparently everybody and their moms has had issues taking these struts off, but we finally got them. The reverse of this should be a lot easier, just because we're not going to be fighting with the whole thing. So me and my boy right now are about to compress the spring, which also I went to AutoZone. They gave me the wrong spring compressor, so I just ran down the street to the Advance over here, bought a spring compressor, and we're about to compress these springs and get to the Eibach and put them on, and then hopefully it should be smooth sailing from here. There's a side-by-side comparison. The Eibach strut, the spring is about to go on. There's the strut. Yeah. All right, guys, so I just lined up these rubber hats on the strut. Lined up the top. You just really got to just twist it on. Should fit pretty easy. On the bottom, put the hat on, or the bottom. There's two little knobs that go into the metal frame. So I put that on. My boy is gonna actually cut the bump stock, and if you see in this diagram right here, front bump stock OEM, 20 millimeters from the bottom, approximately 1 rib. I hope that's showing well on the camera. Oh, there you go. So approximately 1 rib, which is that top or that bottom part. So that's what we're about to do now. All right, so as you can see, that.
Sorry, bro.
That's all right. Sorry, we can put it back on.
Yeah.
As you can see, that bump stock is cut. Let me try to get you guys a better look at it. So this is how it should look once you cut. Approximately 1 rib has been cut. So that's what it looks like. Alright, y'all, so my gloves broke a while ago, so I'm bare skin baby butt right now, but we got one strut on, or I'm sorry, the Eibach. You see the Eibach logo right there? Now I'm sharing. Uh-oh, my mic. So we got the Eibach logo, Eibach spring, Eibach to my backpack. I don't know. We're about to put this strut back on while my boy does the other strut. I think we're almost done, y'all. Alright, y'all, so pretty much we're damn near done. I'm sorry I couldn't get you guys a video that I thought I was gonna get you, but a lot of things happened in between, and honestly in my head I didn't expect the struts to be so hard to take out. But anyways, we're almost done. You know, it took about all of 30 minutes, 45 minutes to do the back. Honestly, both sides we were done. When it comes to the front though, should probably spend like 3 hours damn near. I don't know. You know, like it was quite a mission to get the front struts out. So yeah, won't exactly be getting the video that thought I would have got you as a step-by-step. This ain't a step-by-step. If it was more of a comfortable situation and we weren't really rushed, you know, maybe we would have done it, but it's all right. So I'll be right back in a few seconds. My dog TJ is gonna help me finish this up and we'll show you the results. Yes, it's the next day and it was a little bit of a rush getting things done, which I'll explain right now. But the car, I don't know, I think it looks way more refined. All the sharp lines and edges are kind of cleaner now, hugging the ground a little bit better. Of course, there are a few angles that still need some more work, and without being too coy about it, what I mean by that is some wheels and spacers and or. I think once we get some of that on there, you push out a little bit further, the line becomes more flush on the side wall of the car, or however you want to call that angle. I think it will look much prettier. So we're back in the same location that I did my previous video in. If you didn't watch that one, go check that one out. And we're gonna measure one more time, feel me? All right, so let's see where we're at today. All right, so we're basically just gonna measure it the same exact way I did last time, which I really just went to the edge, and wow, look at this. It was definitely about 1 inch, right? If we go back to my previous video for reference, my finger was on the same spot, but just 1 inch forward. So dropped it 1 inch, guys. Exactly what Eibach claimed. That's what we got. All right. So it took about all of 30 to 45 minutes to do the rear. Super easy, like 2 bolts. And I think I actually was able to capture that for you guys, that it was 2 bolts. It was the sway bar bolt and actually the actual bolt that holds to the hub that drops the spring down. So that was super cake. Me and Sean had it down in like 30 to 45 minutes, I promise you. Unfortunately, once the rear was done, the front, taking the bolts out was the easy part. Dropping the actual strut was just a very rough experience. And honestly, when I think back on it, it actually wasn't really that bad, but I was like scouring forums, YouTube, whatever I could to see how people have taken down this front strut. And it seems like everybody had the same issue getting it down. But unfortunately, I couldn't get that part on video for you guys just because of the situation that we were in. But really, the bolts, they were really just like 3 or 4 bolts down here at the bottom, right, that you really have to undo. Then there's 3 bolts right here. The bolts weren't as much as the issue as actually taking off the shock tower from the knuckle. Once those bolts were out, the mission of it was getting the strut tower out of the knuckle. And so we used a bunch of different techniques. Maybe it took around 2 to 2.5 hours just to take out the struts from the knuckle. But we did everything from bang it to use our body weight to, you know, like a lot of different things. And luckily nothing got messed up either. We actually did it really professionally, which I'm kind of proud of myself about, I do say. But once the strut was out, super easy, although tedious, job to compress the spring, put the Eibach spring on the strut, buckle everything back together, and even putting it back in was relatively easy. Everything was pretty straightforward. So that's really the part you'll have the hardest time dealing with, is getting the strut out of the knuckle. After that, everything is pretty straightforward. So let me explain to you like this. It took me 5 hours in total probably, right? It took all but like 45 minutes to an hour for the rear, both sides done. Then it took damn near 2 to 2.5 hours just to take out the struts. I'm not talking about unbuckling everything, you know, bolt wise. I'm talking about just taking out the strut from the knuckle. It took about 2 to 2.5 hours. Putting the new springs back on the strut, which my boy TJ was doing while I was putting the strut that he just finished back on the other side. So he's doing one spring set. I'm putting the other strut back in that he just finished. So that took about another hour, right? So that part wasn't even as hard as just taking out the struts from the knuckle. So with that, you're already at 4 hours, right? From there, it was really just fastening everything back up, buckling up everything else, and putting everything back together. I tested it. I started making sure there was, you know, no check engines or anything like that, no trouble codes. Everything was fine. Boom, boom, boom. Put it down from the lift. Exactly 5 hours. So honestly, the process wasn't very easy. The whole thing took about 5 hours to do. We started at around 5 and ended it actually right on 10 on the dot pretty much, because I had to go out to my friend's birthday after that. So I remember I was making sure I was trying to like fall in the right time frame. But anyways, regardless of that, it definitely took 5 hours to do. If we would have started earlier, unfortunately it was like a little bit more rushed because we started so late. If we would have started earlier, it wouldn't have been as rushed. But because of that, I wasn't able to provide like step by step and, you know, lay out the tools. I had a whole script, but you know, it ended up not being able to get used. We just had to kind of go with the flow. Big shout out to my friends Sean and TJ. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I will say the difficulty on this shoots up just because of how hard it was to take out from the strut. So all my DIYers, if you've never done this before, you know, it's up to you if you want to tackle it for the first time. I would always encourage it, but it kind of is based on your risk tolerance. You know, do you have the time for it? If your car has to be down for like a day or more, because you just couldn't get it one day and you had to come back to it the next day. Can you afford to do that? You know, I could, the shop couldn't, but even though, I still wouldn't want to do that, you know what I mean? So if I had to rate the difficulty of doing this, I would say, just because of that factor of taking out the strut, I would rate it a 6 out of 10. So not the hardest, but it's definitely harder than average, you know what I mean? But if you have one of these cars or a FL5 or anything else really, I think working on the stance makes the car much more appealing. So I would highly recommend the mod, plus more. So stay tuned for the next mods coming. I got a lot more content for y'all guys. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you stayed this long, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.